Sacrifice.
What's up everybody, Kinetic here, and welcome back to Soul Sacrifice on the PlayStation Vita. It's been a couple of days since I made a video for you guys, and there's good reason for that. I've been trying to make progress in the game to get to a higher level of being able to show you some cooler stuff, and also I've been brainstorming some ideas on what I want to show you here on my YouTube channel for Soul Sacrifice content. And what I realized that I really want to do first, before anything else, before I go any further, is I want to give you my updated impressions and feelings about Soul Sacrifice's online multiplayer. In that first video that I did, I talked about some things, and some of my ideas have changed, and some of them have stayed the same. I would say probably one of the things that hasn't changed, or maybe has improved since that first video, is how much I really love Soul Sacrifice's online multiplayer in general. It is a lot of fun, and the developers for Soul Sacrifice, they've made this game both for a single player, but also especially it seems like for a multiplayer experience, very fast, very easy, and convenient to get into, which is perfect for a handheld game, for a handheld console like the PlayStation Vita. If you only have a few minutes, like on a bus or a train or whatever, going to school or work or whatever, Soul Sacrifice makes it very easy and convenient to get into a multiplayer battle in a very short amount of time. And I'm just having a blast. This quest that we're doing is fighting a boss, the Cerberus, and we're having a great time. One of the things that I talked about in that first online multiplayer video that has changed a lot is my feelings about the competitiveness of saving and sacrificing of the smaller minions. And what I've realized now is that this is really not an issue at all, because, well, almost nobody is doing those types of quests anymore in online multiplayer. I think most of the Soul Sacrifice community here has realized that we don't even need to do those types of quests where we're just running around and killing like 8 mutant cats. It's pointless. It's almost meaningless to do that for multiplayer, because you can do those quests anytime you want single player. The challenge and the reason why you would want to do Soul Sacrifice multiplayer is for stuff like this, for boss fights. And so when the focus is boss fights, then the whole issue of, you know, competing over smaller minions is just not an issue at all. And even in the situations where maybe you're fighting a boss or whatever, and maybe two people need to refresh their spell power or whatever by sacrificing a minion, if somebody gets to it before you do, it's really not a big deal, because chances are there's probably another minion that you can kill and sacrifice yourself. But even if there isn't, there are these static locations that you can use to refresh your spell power. So again, I'm trying to hammer the point in as hard as I can that it is not an issue. And in fact, you can look in the background of this video and you can see there's like 3 or 4 corpses, like, just, you know, waiting to be saved or sacrificed because, well, we just don't need it. I'm about to use Excalibur. This is one of my favorite forbidden spells in Soul Sacrifice. You pull out your spine and then use it for a sword. It's epic. Now here's another opportunity for a forbidden spell. There's my team leader laying on the ground. Should I save him? Should I sacrifice him? Oh, I want to sacrifice him. But I'm getting knocked around. Try to sacrifice. Come on, I want to sacrifice him. I love sacrificing people in online multiplayer, especially for points. And look at that, he even said thank you. He said arigato. Why would he say thank you? Well, if you watch my video about points and stuff like that, you get a very generous points bonus for being sacrificed. So if you get sacrificed in online multiplayer and it kills the boss, like it just did here in this video, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad at all. So yeah, that's how I feel about that issue with the whole, you know, saving and sacrificing of minions. It's not an issue at all, and I hope I kind of correct the perception of the YouTube community's vision of how that goes in this game. Something that has remained true about my feelings, though, in online multiplayer is the whole issue with other players' spells interrupting you and getting in the way of your fighting in online multiplayer. You might remember I talked about how sometimes, you know, somebody will cast an explosive type of spell or whatever, and it will knock you around and stuff like that, and how that can be annoying. Well, it still is, and man, I hope that these people that I'm about to talk about, I hope that they're new players, or that they're gonna figure it out eventually, because this is the type of thing that will get them kicked out of groups and just make it more difficult for, you know, the quests to be completed. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Basically, right, here I am, I'm trying to melee Cyclops here. I want to do melee action with him rather than long range. And instead of being able to do that, and my other teammate here who wants to do the same thing, somebody decides to cast Golem. And this giant statue slams its hand on the ground and causes everybody to get knocked around, interrupting our spells, interrupting our actions and stuff like that. It doesn't cause us any damage, but it's a totally an obstruction of what we're able to do in the fight. You can see we can't do anything because, you know, every other swing with our weapon we're getting knocked around by these damn golems. And you would think that he would have noticed that there's 3 out of the 4 teammates with him that are trying to fight in melee range, but nope, keeps casting golem. Here's another one. Me and this other guy are trying to melee the griffin, and why are we getting knocked around? Because this jackass to my right is using mortar shots so much that he's even knocking himself around. Please don't do that. And third and finally, an example of another spell that can interrupt and cause a lot of disruption, the fist pump. Getting me knocked around, and now I get eaten by Harpy. Thanks a lot, jackass. Guys, please don't do this. Be considerate to your teammates if they're trying to fight in melee range. Please use these spells responsibly. If you do, you will stay in the party longer, you'll kill more bosses faster, and everybody will have a much better experience. That's all I got for you guys in this video. I hope you enjoy it. My name is Kinetic, and I'll see you guys next time.